write down the manufacture or manufacturing steps of explain the manufacturing of wine with a flow chart or something. Okay? So take a look. Viticulture, now everyone knows what it is. What is viticulture? Growing of the art of growing the grapes. So your vintage, your grape varieties, your factors, all those things will come under this. So when I say explain with help of flow chart, means you will draw the flow chart and later on you will explain what is viticulture. सिर्फ flow chart के बनाने से काम नहीं बनेगा. You getting? तो viticulture के बारे में 4 लाइन आपको लिखना पड़ेगा. So I think now we know that it is growing of the grapes and there are various other things which are involved in the growing of the grapes that we need to write. Vinification, making of the wine. What wine we can make? We can make red wine, white wine, rose wine. These are the major wines which you are going to make based on the color of the grapes. Correct? But for any wine making the grapes, we need to destock. Destock means any grapes are having this is the stock. You try to remove the stock. Now it will be through machine because by hand it will take a lot of time. So you will try to. Still you cannot remove 100%. 90% of the destocking can be done. And little bit bitterness because if you don't do destocking, the wine will be totally bitter. High tannin content and it will be bitter. So to reduce the bitterness, you need to destock it. You use a destocking machine. It is something like potato peeler. You put the potatoes inside it. After little bit, if you switch on the machine, when the potatoes come out, the skin has already gone out. Similarly, destocking machine, you are able to 90 to 95% the destocking can be done because you don't want the wine to be bitter. Crusher. Obviously, when you are making thousands of liters of wine or thousands of tons of grapes, you need to crush it. So you will use again a mechanical method where all the grapes will be put into the machine and it will be crushed. The traditional method was crushing by boots. Okay? And the name of the boots which were used were Zapotas de Pisa. So it is Europe, most of the villages, what they used to do, all the wine, all the grapes, they will get at one center place which is known as a ring and they will invite entire village out there. It was more of a festival where they will ask the villagers to wear the boots, jump on the grapes and come back. Because those days the machines were not there. So this was one of the easier method too. So it was fun also and at the same time you are able to crush the grapes. But not with the boots which we wear normally. They will give you a special boots for that purpose. And the name of the boot was Zapotas de Pisa. Clear? It may still be there happening in some of the villages, but primarily it has gone out. Now it is mostly machines being used. Correct? Now, once the crushing is done, the grape pulp, when it gets crushed, that liquid which is a thickened liquid is known as, there's a technical term for that. It is also known as must. M-U-S-T, must. The grape liquid, the thickened grape liquid with the pulp is called as must. Okay? Now in that must, when you taste it, you will find that sometimes the must is little bit less sweet or maybe it is sour. But for the fermentation you want it to be sweet. So to standardize the product, what we do, you will add some sugar into it. Because you want the fermentation to happen right. And because harvest is different, every grape is going to be different. So that addition of sugar into the pulp is known as chapitalization. I did tell you that by end of this class, you will be encountering at least 10 to 15 new terms. So the addition of sugar which will help for the fermentation, which is a help for the fermentation, will be called as chapitalization. Correct? Till here any problems, ask me, because this question is going to come. And when this question comes, it will come for 10-15 marks in your end term examination. Okay? So, crushing of the grapes by the roots, adding the sugar, that becomes chaptalization. After the chaptalization is done, when the standard sugar content is there, जो expert देखेगा उसको क्योंकि वो तो हर बार ferment कर रहा है. Now we will put it for the fermentation. Now while fermenting, the bloom yeast may not be enough. You may have to add yeast as a from externally also. हाँ एक 6-7 लोग हैं. हाँ नाम भेजा है. 3 लोग आ रहे हैं. तो लगा दो. What is the so you got 3 floors. We have to go clear? इतना क्लियर है आपको? Till fermentation. But in the fermentation, what do you require? Sugar and yeast. Yeast will come from where? Bloom. But that yeast may not be enough. So you need to add yeast externally. Artificial yeast can be added. We also call it as wine yeast. So wine yeast can be added during the fermentation. अगर वो फ्लो चार्ट में कुछ लिखा होगा malolactic क्या? So that is something which is to activate the fermentation. Fermentation को fast करना है हमको, बैठे नहीं रहना है. तो 20-25 दिन के अंदर काम हो जाना चाहिए, वरना गड़बड़ हो जाए. I did tell you the wine can become vinegar, very delicate. Okay, so the fermentation starts off. Then we also add free run wine. Now what is this free run wine? When you crush the grapes, the juice will come out of it. उसको निकाल के हमने fermentation में डाल दिया. But जो बचा हुआ है, आप नींबू को निचोड़ते हैं, okay? पहली बारी में जूस अच्छी तरह निकलेगा. But you will not leave it. You will again squeeze it. So little bit juice comes out. So that is called as second crushing of the pulp which is remaining. जो बचा हुआ है उसको वापस आपने press किया, the juice which comes out, that will be called as free run wine. वरना उसको फेंक देते. So you are still crushing it and try to extract. And I'm not talking about 1 kg, 2 kg. Again I'm repeating, it will be thousands of kgs which are there, which need. So good amount of liquid is going to come out of it. Correct? So free run wine. Once the fermentation is done, it will be matured in cask. Cask means wooden barrel. Okay? Now cask को हम क्या क्या बोल सकते हैं? Cask, barrel, vat, they all are same. Kegs, all are barrels. The same name of different things, capacity may be varying. The wood quality may be varying, but idea is the same. Vat, barrel, cask, keg are all the same. Different authors and different people will use different terms, but we are talking about the wooden barrel. It will be matured out here. When you mature it, in the pulp there are skin, there are seeds, there are many sediments out here which need to be cleared. So how you are going to clear it? The first clarification will be happening with the help of racking. I did mention that how to clear sand from water. You mix sand into the water, how you will clear? You keep it for some time. So what is going to happen? All the sediments will come down, the clear water can be poured. Sedimentation, that is called as racking. You keep the wine undisturbed. So whatever will settle down, you transfer it to the different barrel, जो नीचे वाला उसको फेंक दो. That becomes racking. If certain things which are mixed, which is not settling down, which is floating on the water, what you will do? You filter it. You strain it. So in the wine also some skins and all will be floating, which is not going down. Seeds may go down. So then you need to require a filtration system, which is clearing of the wine by filtration. Now there are certain things which cannot be cleared even by filtration and even by sedimentation. Then what we do? We add certain things into it. For example, there is something called bentonite. There is something called isinglass. Okay, there is something called gelatin, which we add into the wine. It will attract all the unwanted particles and it can be cleared. And isinglass, whenever the isinglass come to your mind, Please think about caviar. Caviar comes from which fish?
Sturgeon.
Sturgeon fish. The same fish, you take out the bladder. Bladder of the fish, when you cut the bladder, you will get a gelatinous substance which is known as isinglass. And that isinglass is used for clarifying the wine. And why? Now I am coming back. When you make a grape juice, it is cloudy. But wine, when you see, it is transparent. So isinglass is or bentonite is a thing which makes the cloudy wine transparent. You getting? So it need to be put inside. All the unwanted particles will be taken out. So racking, filtration and fining. ये ढंग से नहीं करा है, wine ढंग से नहीं बनी है. वरना वो grape juice जैसा दिखेगा. If you see the wine bottles, it will be quite transparent. Correct? The color may be red or colorless or white, but it need to be translucent at least. It is because of the racking, filtering and fining. And what are the fining agents? Isinglass, gelatin, bentonite. These are the things which you need to remember out. After racking, filtering and fining, the next thing is blending. Why you blend it? Because you need to standardize the product. Different wineries are there. You will get all the fermented juice. You will standardize the product and it will be blended. Now blending can be of two varieties. One is called as varietal wine. Another is known as generic wine. One more question in store. Differentiate between varietal wines and generic wines. आराम से पूछा जा सकता है. What is the difference between a varietal wine and a generic wine? When the wine is made from one variety of grapes, a single variety of grape, and many of the wines are named after the grape, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, these are the name of the grapes. This is the name of the grape also and this is the name of the wine also. यानी कि उस वाइन को बनाने में सिर्फ एक ही वैरायटी ग्रेप का इस्तेमाल किया गया. That is called as varietal. You getting? It means you are not mixing the grapes. Then it is called as varietal wine. When the wine is made from one particular region, it might be mix of many grapes, but it is coming only from that particular region. Then it is called as generic. Bordeaux is a region in France. It means the wine is being made in Bordeaux region. So the wine name is also Bordeaux. Champagne is made in Champagne region. The Champagne name has come from the region. The grape varieties are 3, not 1. You getting? So different grape varieties mixed together but made in one particular region and name of the wine is based on that region, then it will be called as generic wine. Any questions out here? Varietal wine and generic wine. One line difference, that's it. एक variety grapes से बनाया गया wine, varietal wine. Many variety grapes being used but made in one particular region, generic. The name of the wine will be based on the variety, varietal. Name of the wine is based on the region, generic. So champagne is a generic wine or a varietal wine? Generic wine. Because it is from a region. Clear here? So blending is done to standardize the product. Okay? टमाटो सॉस खाया है मैगी का सबने. हर साल टमाटो की फसल तो सेम नहीं होती, but बॉटल में जब सॉस निकलता है, color and taste is same. So they are standardizing it by blending and various other things are being used. That is blending. Now resting, because wine need to be rested for some time. Aging further need to be done. Finally bottled and corked. Cork, I already told you, it comes from some of the European countries. That wood is required, otherwise the air will not go. हमारे यहाँ पे बाहर का एक लकड़ी को काट के लगाएंगे तो उससे नहीं होगा. The pores should be so that the wine should not come out and the air should go inside. ऐसा भी नहीं होना चाहिए कि wine should come out. Correct? Because it is stored horizontal. So wine is always in touch with the cork. So the air should go, but wine should not come out. So some of the particular, there is a forest in France which is known as Limousin forest. So they use the cork from there. But the better corks come from Spain and Portugal. Even French wines also, the wineries also use cork from France, this one Spain and Portugal. पैसा देना पड़ता है, लेके आते हैं, and then they will use it. Even the barrels also, there are special wood, oak wood. Okay, not every wood can be used for making of barrels. Because I said the wine should not come out and the air should go inside. Clear? So this entire thing will be the answer for the manufacturing of the wine. Different wineries will have here and there some upper niche steps, correct? But this is generalized. Indian winery will follow a little bit different, French winery will follow different. In France also different regions will follow differently. But the major things are viticulture, vinification, crushing, chaptalization, fermentation, maturing, racking, filtering and fining. Some will use isinglass, some will use betonite, some will use maybe the gelatin. What fining